We're starting off high.
We can get
I think
two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
there was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
no, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a human to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
What's happening?
What up?
Shit, I can't call it. Tired than a motherfucker.
I was about to say, we both sleepy. This might be a quick show.
Man, tired than a bitch, boy. This nigga done set me up.
Set you up. You say I set you up like I told you that a trail was a loop. Nah, it's just a trail, bro. Whether or not it's a loop is in the name.
I don't know what I heard, what I thought.
So how far did you go before you realized that it wasn't loop it back?
I was smart enough, right? Like I only went, I don't know, probably a little over a mile, but
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah, no. But the issue was that it was all downhill, so I had to go uphill.
Well, good, you getting your hill starts going back.
Man.
You were on a bike though, weren't you?
Uh-huh.
All right.
So I wasn't running it. That's what it is, a bike trail. It ain't a run trail.
Right.
You know, I'm not running that motherfucker.
The REITs may disagree with you. They're all running trails, sir.
Well, you better be quick sidestepping because I was floating down that motherfucker.
I bet downhill.
Uphill, you could have beat me in a foot race, boy. I was struggling.
I've got my I got my bike out the basement, pumped up the tires, and realized my front one is flat and leaking. So I've got new tubes. Actually, I think they came today, so I'll get those on. And then I'm gonna try to get back on the bike, man. It's been a long time.
Man, I enjoy it though.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy it. Like, especially with my headphones in.
Yeah.
Just listening to some good music or a good podcast. Just cruise. I was all the way by my old house today.
Yeah. I've done that. I mean, that's always the long walks with Kylo on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. Those are always a good time, and I'm like getting through a full episode of a podcast.
Uh-huh.
So I get that.
I'm exhausted though.
Yeah, I feel it. We so A-Reg had 2 football camps today. He did the morning over at Capital University, and then the afternoon was this place called Tip of the Spear. It was done at the Bexley High School, but it was the Tip of the Spear camp, which is Mike Pollock, who's a former NFL lineman, and he basically taught the camp, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what's up.
You know, not a lot new from like a technique other than they talked a lot about striking, especially for like linemen, striking with almost your thumb sticking out or thumb at a 45 to hit with this part of the bone when you jack the shoulder pads.
Right.
So that was cool. It's been a while since I've done like clinic type stuff.
So is he doing like stops? Why was like I mean, I don't mean to sound biased, but
he gets hired. I mean, the schools hire him, bring him in to
there it is, right
do
there. Because
multiple
I was about to
levels
say,
or whatever. And
why Bexley? Like, why would Bexley
they
be on the
bought it?
stop? Exactly. And that's why I say I'm not trying to sound biased, but like, who's coming out of Bexley? Like, no, they're not.
Right.
Nobody's coming out of Bexley High School, so I wouldn't imagine that would have been a targeted stop unless you was like, "Hey, we got that Bexley money, though. You trying to get some
No doubt.
Here."
But it was good. Two of the other big kids that are on the 5th grade team were there, or will be on the 5th grade team were there. So I worked with A Reg and the other 2 kids, and I mean, I sent you the video. That was the competition at the end of camp. You saw. I accidentally sent you the first one, but it was good because you got to see the progression. He just leaned into him, right?
Like a scarecrow.
Well,
he was stuck in the dirt.
What's funny is it's like right before they did the competition, Pollock was talking about the fact that like the first time you get into something like this, like you're gonna forget everything that you were coached to do, and he was like that fight or flight mode, and you're gonna you're gonna lose it. And I looked at Andrew right after. I'm like, you didn't do anything you were coached to do today.
Right. He's like, no. Fuck it, just hold ground.
But then did you see the second video where the other 5th grade coach and I are both like, Andrew, move your feet.
Right.
And then he finally started doing it, and he ran the kid out.
What are you doing the ladder drills for, kid, if you're not going to move them little piggies?
Right. No doubt. But still, it was fun. Mm-hmm. It's nice to actually be coaching him in the sport that I coach.
Right.
Like, that's my sport. I've done basketball. I mean, I don't count flag football as football. Like, it's not the same thing. Especially not for big kids.
It's not.
I was glad to like be coaching him in my sport. And he actually is like listening to me, which is nice. But then it's also helpful. Like when he and I are butting heads a little bit, one of the other coaches steps in and works with him, and it works out well. So, it was good. He about died at speed camp on Wednesday, though. So
that's good. That's what I be saying about my daughter. Run her to death. Run them to. I want vomit,
dude. The first 20 minutes of speed camp is all conditioning. It's like burpees it's a burpee station to a mountain climber station to a jump squat station to I don't know, whatever else. Sprint station, blah, blah, blah. Dude, he was hurting. I'm like, and he does occasionally have like breathing problems. He does have some level of asthma.
Right.
And we didn't have his inhaler. So his mom dropped it off. We got it. And he finished out the camp, which I was proud of. But after the conditioning part, the first thing they did, the first station he was at for like the actually speed and agility training piece was like plyometrics, like bounds and leaps and jumps. Right. And he was like, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, bro, just get through this state. This is the worst station for you. Like, you've got more weight to jump and lift than anybody else here.
Right.
And then he got to the quick foot ladders and like medicine ball work, and he was into it. So I'm like, you've got to put in your mind that you have got to get through the hard part to get to the stuff you're good at.
Right. You got to work or get left behind.
Right. So,
and the other cool see all your friends playing sports and shit, and you gonna be on the couch playing video games. Like, damn, I'm missing out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, I think part of the issue too is like not a lot of his core group of friends plays tackle football. That's been part of the reason why he hasn't wanted to. But the group that's there was positive and welcoming of him. Like the quarterback like shouted out Andrew like 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, that's because he sees that you are big and will block for him.
Right. Right.
So that was all good. Yeah. I mean, other than that, saw 2 good movies this week.
What good movies?
Well, Monday night I watched I finally got on the Sinners train and watched that.
All right.
It was good. It was
It's
good.
a little overhyped though. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, that was part of the problem for me is that because I sat and listened to everybody talk about how great it was, and I'm like, nah, it's a good movie. Like, don't
Yeah,
get me twisted, but like, is it all
I ain't never
that?
gonna.
I don't know.
I ain't never gonna lie to kick it.
Right.
It was overhyped.
Yeah.
Good movie, but overhyped. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more so the struggle to get it done, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to, like at first the big production companies not wanting to back it and then him getting backing but it being on the back end type
Right.
shit. And now all of a sudden they talking about they going through with a Sinners 2 without him. Like, that's some real white shit to do right there. Real talk.
They
Like,
obviously didn't watch the movie.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, who are you gonna?
That
How
is
are
some
you gonna
white
do
devil
it?
shit.
How are you gonna do it though? Is my whole thing. Like, you're gonna have to get somebody else of the culture
Right.
that has a similar vision to complete that. But the whole time you talking about it ain't gonna do what you think it's gonna do, all this shit. And now the nigga talking about the story's done. It's done. It's over.
It's
And you
over.
talking about, you know what though, we can still make some money off this. Let's take it over on our. That's some real Caucasian shit to do. I'm telling you. And I say that respectfully, but just
Respectfully, but
understand
I,
that's why motherfuckers be looking at you like this sometimes. You know what I mean?
I also appreciated that in that movie. One, I got your point on Michael B. Jordan was basically playing the same character twice. Um, the music was good though, man. Like the
It
one,
was
and spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen Sinners, but the one scene where Sammy is like
on
playing
the
in,
stage.
yeah, on the stage, and then they morph it into like all these other genres of
Oh, the
music coming into.
ancestors.
Yeah,
Uh
well,
huh.
not even the answer, like not just the ancestors, like the ancestral stuff, but then they brought in like more modern stuff, and like it was very cool from both a musical composition standpoint as well as like just a visual standpoint.
Right, right. Nah, it was kind of it's. I mean, it was kind of a genius concept. You know what I mean? Which I don't feel like it's too hard to find a concept like that because I feel like there's truth in it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of genius how he put it to film in a
Yes.
way.
Exactly. Like people have talked about flow state, especially with musicians, and that's kind of what they were getting at with all that.
Right.
And it was like to your point, very cool how they visually brought that together on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I knew Haley Steinfeld was Dunzo when she came back after talking to the white folks.
Yeah, you can't. I don't even know why they let her.
Right, right.
Like, honestly, why would you even let? Just because she's closest to doesn't mean that they're not here for a reason. We
Right.
don't need to.
Right.
All money's not good money, baby, and you should know that specifically. Being up in Chicago dealing with the mob and them.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
It's
And
your
then-
first night, right? It's the opening night, and you try
Let them back in here. Don't let her back in here. Don't let them back in here. Don't. And like
Right.
she was the only one that got it. And then she got.
The end. I feel like that was like it was the closest you'll get to a happy ending of a horror movie.
Yeah. Where like Sammy's playing in the bar at the end, and then Michael B. and Haley show up.
They got to have the love that they always wanted to have, but they couldn't because of the time that they were in. And the other brother got to be with his departed child and baby mom. It was like everybody got what they wanted at the end. Even Sammy got to, strike it big with his little music shit. Never really seen a horror.
Personally, my feelings on it were the biggest plus and minus of the movie is the fact that it's a shot for shot. So you're working off of like a true classic movie.
Right.
And if you do shot for shot, you're not going to fuck it up. However, I think the animated characters were more endearing. And then I think that the dragons, Actually, all of the dragons look great except for the main one, except for Toothless.
Yeah, I seen
Toothless
that.
has like a little bit of like almost like a matte finish to him, and I'm like, I want him to be like scaly and shiny, like,
Yeah, it was
and he's
cartoony.
very, very matte finish to him. And I mean, I get like not wanting to screw it up, but it felt like, to your point, that it was cartoonish in a live action. Now the
Right.
rest of the dragons felt more real. But Toothless in particular, the black dragon, just he felt, because he had that like matte finish to him, he didn't feel like he was actually there.
Right.
And so still a good movie. They use the original soundtrack. All
Oh,
the
they didn't do shit. They didn't do shit to
No, they
cast people.
literally just cast people in it. And
That's
then
crazy.
use the same animation for Toothless and then use the same soundtrack. Now, what'll be interesting is that's one of those movies that like kind of grows with kids, meaning like it gets a little more adult in the second one and then again in the third one. And I'll be curious to see, because they've already announced that they're doing the second one.
Oh, really?
So I'm curious to see, like, are they just going to do a straight up shot for shot again, or are they going to change some things
But
up?
I guess that's the thing about it, right? Like, if you kind of showed your hand, because if you go on shot for shot the first one, why do I need to go see the second or the third?
Right, right.
Like,
Now,
unless I just want to see the real people as opposed to the, like,
the
why do I need to
animated.
see that?
Well, and that was what really surprised me is that I asked Andrew after the movie, I'm like, so would you want to watch this one or the animated the next time you watch this movie? He's like, I want to watch the live action. I'm like, really? I was a little surprised by that. So, but
Yeah, and I have no
right,
say. I don't know nothing about it.
right. But I mean, we do have a hella more movies coming out over the next couple of weeks. You had the latest Mission Impossible drop like 2 weeks ago. You've got the new Jurassic World with ScarJo in it. And then you get into the superhero stuff with the new Superman movie and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that nothing for me.
I think Superman will be interesting because they've made him more lighthearted, so it's not like the dark, like I'll call it the emo Superman from like Man of Steel and from Batman vs Superman. They're trying to make it more feel, I think, more like the 50s and 60s Superman that was a little more truth, justice, American way. What's funny is that anytime that trailer is played overseas, it's gotten booed.
Everything is so
It
gimmicky nowadays. Like
is.
nobody wants to fucking see the Fantastic Four. Like, yeah, there's gonna be people that are gonna support, but you've had different iterations over the years so many times. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. Same with Jurassic Park. That's why you got to cast Scarlett Johansson in a role that you can't really see her actually playing.
Right.
But you're like, we got to do something to make people want to come see it, and at least people will stare at her for a couple hours
Well,
on the
and I
screen.
mean, those movies, the Jurassic World movies, do hella bread overseas because it's like the Godzilla movie kind of thing.
That's
It's
because
your
they still
monster of
believe
the
in
week
dragons,
and
right?
whatever. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how that does. Let's see what else. There's a second something or other coming out too. One of the Disney movies is getting a sequel. Oh,
These
Zootopia.
bitches are just so fucking like be creative. Give me something new. That is,
You
at the
got
end of
it.
the
You got
day,
Sinners.
and that's what I was about to say. At the end of the day, that's why that did so well. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
It did so well because it's an original concept, an original script. It's not a remake, a
Well,
redub, a
and
remaster.
you had Coogler behind it. You had Ryan Coogler behind it.
Yeah, and he doesn't miss. He
No,
really just doesn't miss at the end of the day.
he's kind. I mean, him, Jordan Peele, and Nolan, and
Who's Nolan? What's he done?
like Oppenheimer. He's doing Ulysses,
Okay.
so he's doing like Troy type movie. Um, I mean, he did all the Dark Knight Batman movies. He's done a lot of things. I think he did
Okay.
Interstellar too. And then Denny Villeneuve, who did Dune and or not Contact. Oh shit, what was the one with the aliens? I'm blanking on it.
with the aliens.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
like every other movie nowadays.
No, but this one was like it was probably one of the most realistic in terms of one, it dealt with a little bit of time travel, and then two, it was like how we would go about breaking down their language.
Yeah, no.
And I can't remember what it is. I should know that one, and it's
I
gonna.
mean, that sounds like Contact, but
Yeah, it's like Contact. It's fuck. All right, I'm gonna have to look it up because it's driving me crazy. Oh, Arrival. That's what it was. And
I
then
don't know.
he did Sicario too. So like those 4 or 5 directors, I mean, I will at least give anything that they do a shot. But other than that,
But I mean, still not original though. I mean, out of all those you name, maybe the Arrival one, but Batman's not original. Dune is not original. Like, you
fair.
did a good job with the
But
movies,
both
but
of
you're
them,
not.
but both of them had original properties in addition to doing IP properties.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that, but you know what it is that you're getting before you sit down in the seat of the
Right.
theater.
Well, and I think that that's why Jordan Peele and Ryan Coogler have been such a big deal. Like,
Right.
although in fairness, Coogler, this was really one of the first one. I mean, this and Fruitvale Station are really the only two that he's done that didn't have like an originating IP.
I mean, I will argue Fruitvale Station wouldn't either. But the only difference is the only things you touched on, well, the movies that you touched on have never been seen before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, once we see one Batman universe, all you can really do is lighten or darken it up.
Yep.
But nothing's changing
Well,
about the
and
universe.
I mean, Coogler, even though, the other two properties he did were what? Fahrenheit 9/11 and then obviously the Creed and Black Panther movies. And
Right.
Black Panther was cool because you would
Fahrenheit
never
9/11, what's that?
post-apocalyptic type stuff. It's either
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe it's either
I don't
9/11
think.
or 4/11. It's something like that.
Okay.
And then, I mean, obviously what he did with Black Panther and Creed, like he brought back the Rocky franchise.
Right. That was basically, how would I put it?
I mean, it was a requel, it was a reboot.
Yeah, but the only difference is you get to create everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, basically you just told another story inside of the world of Rocky,
Inside that
as opposed
universe.
right,
Yes.
as opposed to following the story of the man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you kind of got, it's almost like we don't trust you yet.
Yeah. I mean, he was
You know what
still
I'm
early
saying?
on. Like, he had done Fruitvale at that point, but he hadn't really done anything else. Because didn't Creed come out before the first Black Panther?
Right. Uh-huh.
The first Creed come out before first Black Panther, I
Yeah,
think.
that to me is, we don't trust you to have full creative control, but we'll give you a world where you can create it. We'll just make sure
You
it's
can
something
create
that you
within it.
can't
Yeah.
miss, right? And now, the reason why Jordan Peele was able to come directly into it is because that's the name of your game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't a stand-up comedian, you were a writer,
Yeah.
and you created the next best skit comedy show to the Chappelle show.
Right.
So, of course, we're going to give you creative control. That's all you've done before, is
But
think of new ideas.
he also got like super tight budgets too. Like none of
Right.
the Jordan Peele movies have been like a super high budget. They've been in the, I don't know, 30 to $50 million range versus the $100+ million range.
Right.
And he's knocked them out of the park with, Get Out and what is it, that or Us or Them or whatever they were.
Yeah, us.
I think it's
Yeah,
Us.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, give black folks the hog, and they'll make you some meat that you ain't had before,
But
Just
those
give
are
us the
all.
hog. We'll create something out of it.
Those were. I mean, yeah, it's them, and then Nolan, and like I said, Villeneuve. That
But that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Nobody's trying to be creative. Nobody's trying to take on anything
well,
and get.
studios don't want to is the problem because like they keep going for these $1 billion movies, and so they're
I,
authorizing budgets of like 300 million, and then they have to make $1 billion to get any profit.
I think it's a bit of both, though, too, to be honest. Like, I think if we had more writers presenting, their own ideas, their own work, eventually you would have some breakthrough with
Well,
those 100+ million.
here are the two studios that are doing it right. Do you watch any of the A24 movies? They don't really
What are
hit
those?
theaters. They pretty much go straight to streaming.
What are some of
So
those?
recent one was Death of a Unicorn, which was awesome. That was a
I
very
don't
good
know what that
one.
is.
There was a trilogy last year. It was kind of a horror trilogy with Maxine, Pauline, and Triple X, I think. What else? The problem is like I'm not gonna. I think Miller's Girl is an A24 movie. That was the one about the teacher and the student. Blah blah blah. But A24 does a great job with that stuff too. It has more of like an independent feel.
Okay, I
And then
don't know that.
Blumhouse does all of the quote unquote low budget horror. But they're pumping these movies out for 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, 30 million, and then as long as they hit 50 million in the box office, they're making a profit off of it.
Right. But to my
But the
point,
problem,
think about your guy Rob Zombie.
yeah,
When he came out, motherfuckers was dying to see his next flicks and shit like that. And that's because you did your first little Michael Myers joint to get their trust. And then the Devil Rejects popped off, and everybody was like, well, when's Rob dropping another?
right.
Because you're giving us original
Original
shit.
stuff. Well, and that's why I'm telling you, like, although like thinking through it, I'm not sure there's anything A24 that I've seen that I'd be like Cliff would like this one. But that doesn't mean you wouldn't. There's just none that jump. I actually think you would get a little bit of a kick out of Death of a Unicorn.
I'll have to look that up.
That's Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega
I
from
like Paul
Wednesday,
Rudd.
like those
Mm,
two. But it's kind of a, I don't know. I'd almost call it like science fiction horror, but it's all
okay.
very reality based.
That might be interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. Mickey 17's another one. Mickey 17's another one that I think you'd like. Mickey 17 is dude gets he's in debt and he takes on a job where basically like he gets if he dies, they reload him into a fresh body, but he's doing like menial labor jobs. Like he's doing dangerous grunt work, and then basically if he goes out and he's digging a mine or something and he falls in, they download his memory every day and they just imprint it onto a new body, and it's like a clone of him.
I don't think I would like that. That
I
is,
think if you saw it, I don't know, I think it would at least intrigue you. And
I
they
mean,
do
it
it with like
sounds
a
intriguing, but it
comedic
also
intent.
sounds a little too relative.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's not so much a movie as it is,
Hey,
you know.
but my point was you're asking for original content and I'm throwing all of these at you and you're not seeing these ones.
Well,
So
that's because they're not doing them right.
that's where I'm saying like that's part of the problem though. If people aren't going out and seeing the original
Content.
content, the studios aren't going to make it.
Where's Studio 824? What is that? Where's that come from?
I don't know. It's just its own kind of started off as an independent studio and it's grown into more. Same with Blumhouse.
Because, see, I feel like certain people want to keep their low key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it sounds like to me because out of all those you've named, I've never heard of any of them, and I've heard of plenty movies that I haven't seen before.
Right. Well,
So
and
it's
that's
like,
where I said that I think most of those drop on like direct to video streaming. So
yeah, that
you
sounds to
can
me
get
like
them
they
off
don't,
of Amazon or whatever.
right, like they don't want to be the sinners or the devil's
Well,
rejects
no,
or,
they just don't have the budgets to put behind them. So people are doing more with less in my mind.
but I mean, we can't say that. We can't say that if you have your Jordan Peels.
Yeah, but Jordan Peele's also starting to get more money to play with every time he has success.
Right, but I mean, you named me 4 or 5 movies from A24,
Yeah.
and Jordan Peele is only on his fourth coming up,
Yeah. That's fair.
and it can't just be from star power. Like, hey, that's the Key and Peele guy. Let's go see the movie. Like if you have a whole production
No, I
crew
mean
behind you,
he's getting horror fans and he's getting black audiences.
right? Yeah, and I guess horror is the top genre,
Yeah. In terms of genre flicks that isn't like action
right?
or drama.
And usually that comes from the fact that you can't make the same horror twice.
Right, because
You
people are
know,
like, after it. Yeah.
unless it's Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, you're not making multiple. So horror fans know if I'm going to see a horror movie, it's an original.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, you're right. 90% of the time. I think what's interesting is where horror has a problem is that they fall, even if it's not the same movie, they fall into the same like tropes. Like you're gonna get a jump
Right.
scare here, the beats are the same.
Right.
The person
Yeah,
you
like
don't expect, the person who is like close to the one of the victims is not going to be the killer, but they're going to make you think they're the killer. Blah blah blah.
all my favorite horrors aren't really like the jump scare ones so much as like the eerie,
Like psychological thriller.
somewhat like, so like what was that one, the Haunting in Connecticut or
Uh huh.
whatever? That was a pretty good one, and I wouldn't say it was psychological, it was just the eeriness
Eeriness.
of it all, like
Well,
the
and what
sheet
you
blowing and catching the body but nobody's there type, like it was just very eerie, like, ooh, that's kind of weird, you know what I mean?
and what those movies usually do well is the sound design.
Yeah,
Because
you
it's
need that.
always like some background, barely audible sound or music or whatever that just creates
Mm-hmm.
that feeling.
Right.
Which gets into our usual, music and frequencies and can control or create moods and
No, definitely. Yeah, you gotta watch what you listen to. Trying to tell you, boy, how to put you in a mood.
Absolutely. It's funny. I had that conversation with somebody the other day where uh, they said that they kind of broke down into tears because the song came on that they like listened to with their ex-spouse. And it was one of those things that just kind of connected. I'm like, I understand because Rascal Flatts, what hurts the most gets me every time.
Y'all chumps. You
Or
and your,
what?
yeah.
Luther Vandross, Dance with My Father again. That one gets me every time too.
No, there's certain ones. There's certain ones, but I don't know that I've ever. I don't know. Maybe that says more about my relationships than it does about the music. I don't know that I've ever been in one that's like the music will
Well, I think
have me like feeling emotional. You know what I mean?
I think the key is one, was it like your song with them? Like was it something that was real popular
Right.
while you were with them or something that you both liked or whatever? And two is, man, sometimes the radio just gets you post breakup and you hear the same song over and over again and you just attach that song to those feelings coming out of that relationship.
Yeah. No. That's definitely the case. There's
That
definitely
was
some that I can name like that,
yeah.
but I don't know if any that get me like emotionally, like Yeah, no. Even the only thing that I like maybe like people that died, like certain songs will
There
play
are
that.
there are two songs that came out around times when acquaintances, friends had committed suicide and they were about
Yeah,
suicide. Brad Paisley, Whiskey Lullaby, and I think Brian Thompson, How Do You Get That Lonely? And both of those came out like right after, somebody that I knew had off
right.
themselves. And yeah, those are two that'll hit me too.
Yeah, shit like that'll get me, but not no fucking relationship shit. Like,
That's because you're a cold hearted bastard, Clifford.
right. I just that may just click to me too. Maybe it's not the relationships, maybe it's me. Like, don't get me wrong, like I will feel a way, like, like, but never to the point that I'm like, oh, I miss times or I miss that person or nah,
Yeah.
fuck them. Use the season and it's over. But
Oh man. All right. Well, that was the closest thing I had to a topic for tonight, Cliff, was the movies, and then that we kept that conversation going for 40 minutes.
uh-huh.
So what you
Oh,
got?
really? Yeah. It's Friday the 13th. It
It
ain't
is
even
Friday
been
the
weird.
13th.
It ain't even been a
And
weird day.
I don't know, was it no, it was 2 nights ago. We almost had Friday the 13th and a full moon at the same time.
For real.
Yeah.
It ain't even weird though. Like it don't even feel like normal Friday. Like the energy's funny on like when you go
Friday the
out on
13th. Yeah.
Fridays, normal ones. What the fuck did they unlock in CERN that like reverse the code? Now it's like, nah, them is normal days, G. It's all the rest of them. It's like, no, now Friday the 13th is a normal day, and the other 364 of them, well, you probably get it 2 to 3 a year. So the other 300,
360.
yeah, 62, they're the ones that Friday, because that's how it feels.
Right.
It feels like you go outside and you like, these motherfuckers are weird, Joe. Like it is weirdos out here. And you see them daily, and it's like, where did they come from? You
Something's
know what
just
I
weirder
mean?
today. I don't know.
And today it didn't feel like that to me.
Well, maybe it's because there's enough other real world shit going on.
Maybe shit. And Jason Voorhees done been to hell, back to hell, came back, went back to hell. So
went
we
to,
ain't
he
worried
went
about
he
him.
went to space. I don't know.
I heard about that. That's probably the best place for him, huh? Yeah, I don't know how you coming back, G. I don't see how you make it back.
Oh man, I don't know. Like, it's not that I have problems with horror. I've just never really been into it.
Yeah, I haven't either. Like, don't get me wrong, there are certain ones that I like, but for the most part, that's not my genre. And you know how I feel like I don't like to let shit in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm one of those where your grandparents was like, you watching that horror movie, you gonna let a demon in through your teeth. Like, nah, nothing like that. But I feel like the feelings of letting
Right.
things in, like I'll watch a horror movie and I'll try to scare myself subconsciously. Like, what if
Yeah.
a face just popped up in the mirror behind your right ear, and then you looking deeper, like trying to find something to, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, nah, I'm good on all that
The
because
worst
my mind's crazy enough.
the
I'll
worst
find a way to scare myself.
the best and worst like horror experiences I've had is back when my mom was still living here in Columbus, and she'd
Mm-hmm.
come over for Friday night pizza. I'd put Andrew to bed. Shar would be off at soccer, and my mom and I would sit down and watch something horror. Usually, whether it was the Haunting of Hill House or the Haunting of, I think, Bly Manor came out after she left, but still. Um, and there was at least one very creepy night. So Andrew's in bed, Char's at soccer. My mom and I watched this black and white horror movie called As Above, So Below.
I've
And it's
heard of it.
basically them going through like a cave system coming up, and it's whatever. Very eerie, like not jump scary at all, just eerie and like
This is
psychologically like drawn out and traumatizing. So my mom gets up and leaves. My mom leaves after the movie, and like 3 minutes after she leaves, I see this shadow flash across the dining room.
right. This is at the old house.
No, this is here.
Oh,
This
really?
is at Wilson. And so I had put Andrew to bed, and I see the shadow flutter across the freaking dining room. And then it does it again. And I realize there's a fucking bird in the house. I don't know. I don't think I got this bird out of the house because I couldn't find it after the fact.
For real?
Like I caught a glimpse of it at one point, but I don't know where it went.
You got a dead bird somewhere
I mean,
in the
hopefully
house.
one of the cats fucking got it, but still, that one was creepy as fuck.
Oh, I bet. And I bet you was on toes when you
Yes.
saw that.
It
The
took me,
first one is like, am I tripping? Like, let me wipe my eyes. But then the second one, you like, oh shit.
No,
Maybe
I
something
definitely
did come
saw
through
that.
the TV. Something that came through the TV. I shouldn't have been watching these fucking horror movies.
Thanks, Mom.
Right. And she probably casted a few spells before she
Spells,
walked
no
into this
doubt.
motherfucker.
No doubt.
Mhm.
That being said,
You
you
know,
should
I'm
ask
not
her. You should ask her to make a sage pouch for you. That's what got me
make a sage pouch.
my first gig out of college. She gave it to me, and like within 2 weeks, I had 2 offers.
Nigga. You just watch Sinners.
Oh, you're not gonna take a gift from a
No,
vampire?
listen, I'm not. No, all money's not good money.
Bernie.
I don't need that job if I need the pouch to get it. Fuck that. You might have me in a Dan 17 situation, and every time I die, these motherfuckers download me back to this bitch. Fuck that.
Putting you back in the same old fucking job.
I said Dan. Didn't you say Ben?
It's Mickey 17.
Oh, Mickey 17. Maybe I was thinking of Ben 10.
The Reach chiming in with, yeah, it was as above, so below. And then she was talking about the bat. Man, that's another one from this house.
Had a bat in there?
Yeah, I think I've told you about this.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe y'all letting demons in through that black mirror you call it TV.
This fucking morning, it was in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to work, and I'm leaving before Char's up, and my mom's actually coming over to watch Andrew. And I'm leaving in the morning. It's still dark. Like, I don't really turn on the lights. It's light enough for me to find my shoes and get out the door. And I hear this. And I think at the time, Andrew had those like VTEC trucks that like made noise and shit.
Uh-huh.
And then when they started to die, they would make the noise and it would get slower and slower and
Right.
slower or whatever. And so I looked around for like 20 minutes to try to find this fucking truck when I'm trying to get out the door and get to work. Finally, I'm just like, fuck it, and I leave. Come back home that night, and it's a Friday. We're doing our usual Pizza Friday thing. And
The count
my
sitting
mom,
on your counter eating a bowl of cereal.
my mom, I can't remember if my mom was still there or not. Andrew and Char were definitely there. And I hear this fucking noise again. I'm like, where is this truck? And I'm looking around, and then I see the cats. And the cats are staring up at the ceiling. Why are the cats staring up at the ceiling? Because hanging from those wooden beams in my dining room is a fucking bat.
Upside down.
Upside down. And so I go to I get a broom to kind of like usher it out the window or whatever.
Oh, was it close enough?
I mean, I could reach it with the broom.
I'm saying like the window.
The window was close enough, yeah.
Okay.
So I popped open the middle window.
To smack it as hard as I could out of the window. It's either that or the BB gun, G, and I was nice with the broom.
Right. And I go to like push this bat because I'm teeing up to like, to your point, kind of fling it towards the window. and this motherfucker unfurls its wings to like here. Like a full 1.5 foot wingspan across the wing.
I'd have just been throwing cats. I'd have been picking cats up like
throwing the cat up there.
You better catch that.
So meanwhile, my mother and my child were home all day with this fucking bat.
That's because
they
knew who it was. Well, at least your mom knew who it was, and Andrew was probably like, she know who he is.
I mean, maybe it was my mom. I don't know, because I can't remember if she was there when I found the bat or not.
Yeah, y'all think she be running. Y'all think she be running.
That would go in line with her vampire-ness.
She flying through the canyon.
Right.
They're like, we never seen her pass us. I don't know how she didn't finish.
How she got ahead of us. This is crazy.
We'd have seen this woman if she passed. I didn't see her pass not one time.
Oh, man.
Listen.
The favorite bat story growing up was bat in the house and spraying it with hairspray to the point where the wings got stiff.
That might be animal cruelty. Why was it eating it like that?
Why was it in the house was the better question.
Why was it just standing there letting y'all glue it?
It was trying to flutter up through the I think it was a whole like a wooden panel next to the staircase, because the old house, Champion House, my dad had jury rigged half that shit together. And I think we just got it in there and sprayed it and sprayed it and sprayed it.
It was the spritz. It wasn't even put a lighter in front of. These motherfuckers trying to slick down a bat. This motherfucker styled his kind of shit. What made y'all get hairspray in the first place?
I don't remember. It's just
my God.
Close by. Man, I'll spray the bleach bathroom cleaner on fucking flies and shit in the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do that,
Whatever you can grab that's aerosol, man.
Yeah, that'll blow them back. Had them motherfuckers flying in circles.
Right.
Then they get on the ground and start breakdancing.
That's when you can take care of them. Stomp them out. Oh, man. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. That's kind of fucked up. Stomp them out. I don't know. What's worse, letting them die slow or stomping them out mid-head spin on the motherfucker?
Putting them out of their misery. I think that's the merciful thing to do at that point.
That motherfucker was over there getting down, spinning on his wings, and you just stomped it out when it was about to hit his finishing move.
Right.
It was about to hand on the head on the ground with his legs up, and a boot came down on this.
Oh man! Shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just don't think. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know what I think.
No,
I don't. I've come to that conclusion. That. Yeah, thoughts are just, my thoughts. My thoughts are just ideas and images that flash before my, not even my eyes. It's like a projector in the back of my head, and it's just giving you the old school picture slides, almost like a scary movie. You know how they would, and then the picture slides start going faster and faster and faster and faster, and it zooms in on the ghost face.
Yeah.
That's what my thoughts do, and it's just like what are they for real?
Why are we here?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are these thoughts for? Like, just to let you know you're still alive. But I don't know that they stop when you die.
Right. Well, if you believe that you just rejoin the source and things keep going.
Then are my thoughts my thoughts? Do I then get to share these images with people around me, and they get to be like, "Oh, damn, you was dealing with
you was dealing with some shit.
You had some shit going on, didn't you? We ain't know it was like that."
That's actually an interesting segue. So I did listen. They came out with, I think, episode 11 of the the talk tracks on the telepathy tapes, and they had Tom Campbell, who is former NASA scientist, quantum physicist turned conscientious or consciousness
Uh-huh.
scientist, and
Is
he
he
was
the one
talking.
that said that all after you die, your soul goes to that planet that's like 100 million miles away that they were able to track?
No,
That's not
his
him.
his big thing is the big theory of everything, which is the material world is not the basis of reality. It's all just consciousness. Consciousness is the basis of reality, and everything can be explained through consciousness. And he talks a lot about from a standpoint of like why would we choose to be in a physical reality if consciousness, if you could just be pure consciousness. And the whole thing is that it's an experiment to drive, away from solitude and towards love and towards, mass
And
understanding and
that's actually the
community.
opposite.
And
I was thinking the opposite,
yeah.
like probably because a lot of people need smacked, and it's like I couldn't smack the shit out of them when we were just energy, but now that you're physical, I can backhand the shit out of you because you deserved it for lifetimes.
But that's the whole living force versus cosmic force. Like the living force is between objects, between things in the material plane, whereas the cosmic force is like a unified body and not a body's the wrong word, but a unified energy of just pure consciousness.
I don't know if I agree with that.
No?
Because what in this existence is unified at all?
Well, I think that's kind of the point is that this existence it's not, but in
But
consciousness it is.
I feel like it's kind of like a movie, right? Like if you were the architect of it all, Yahweh, if you will, are you creating sinners or are you creating Batman? You feel what I'm saying? Are
Yeah.
you giving us an original concept or is this concept an idea that you've already worked on in a previous instance or existence? Because you think about like your body has cells that fight each other.
Yeah.
The earth has people that fight each other. It goes on. Insects in trees fight each other. It's always like I feel like everything is mimicking
Well,
something
that's why
else.
we haven't won the game, Cliff. That's why simulation theory is real. Is because we haven't won. Otherwise, we wouldn't still be here.
So you think if everybody, but I don't know. I don't know. That could be, that could be it. But I don't know that.
And what he talks about that I thought was interesting was that like he incorporates religion into that view and into the simulation theory, and that like getting closer to God is and getting back to source or getting back to whatever that energy field is or back to pure consciousness, like that is the actual path back to God. And that the source, the mass consciousness, like that is what we refer to as God.
Right. I mean, that would explain a few things. It almost feels like the material is the issue.
Yeah. Well, and he talks about a lot in it too. Like it's the explanation for um, extrasensory perception, for astral projection, for you know, to the point that you've brought up, like accessing source. Like it is all when you do those things, what you're doing is you're moving through the realm of consciousness versus the material plane.
Yeah, I think I came full circle because it almost feels like when they say you're born a sinner. Well, that makes sense to me because you are born of flesh, and flesh would want things that you wouldn't want if
One,
you
if
were
you were just
just,
pure consciousness.
you know what I'm saying? So in a way, it's kind of like I'm gonna make y'all material, like of matter, just to see how many of y'all want to smack the shit out of me. You know what I
Right.
mean? How many of y'all's heads is in the right spot? Like, would you smack me if you had the opportunity to?
And the answer is yes, Cliff.
Right. The answer is yes, and that's why we fucking up. That's why we fucking up. But then at the same time, it's like, how does that cosmic energy look with all of these weird people out here? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? At that point, is it negative magnetism where it's like, nope, every time you come around, I'm coming over here. Nope, every time you get close, I'm going over there. Because it's like, if we're all supposed to exist, it can't be bundled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's energy. That means it goes anywhere. That means I can take my ass to another galaxy if I wanted to and leave all y'all behind, but we'd still be connected to source.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
What are thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Like, what
You
are thoughts
exploring consciousness.
in the first place? I guess that's right, right? But I believe, like, I believe motherfuckers can be brain dead and they still can't escape their thoughts.
Oh, I agree with that.
It's just brain dead to your monitors. Your
Right.
monitors aren't reading activity, but
The
this
system.
motherfucker didn't escape.
Well, and at that point, are you pure consciousness or are you trapped in the shell?
I almost feel like that's a good question. That is a good question. But I almost feel like it's the transition, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't be in the shell for long.
Right.
You can be in there for years, tens of them, but you're not going to be in there for much longer.
But if time is a construct and irrelevant, if you're pure consciousness, then it doesn't seem like you're in there long.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because those years aren't what they are as you
Right.
in your material form.
Right. Well, and in theory, with consciousness, you can re-enter into the material form at any point in time, any point in history, any place, any whatever, because it all exists at the same. It's all both existing and non-existing at the same time.
That makes me wonder, like, would like the brain dead be like a Mickey 17 situation where it's like, oh yeah, you got out of 2020, but nigga, now you're back in 1803. How about that?
Right.
And you gonna live out this life until your brain dead body dies out.
It's possible. That would suck.
But then it's like, what is the original?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
what is the original? Where is the original?
it's pure consciousness. There's no reference point.
But there would have to be an original, right? Because you can put me in my child self now, but that would mean that something came before and led up to for me to be my older self. So
Yeah.
where did it all start?
That's a great question.
I'm
This
telling
is
you,
this is where it gets trippy.
we in some pod somewhere, just inhaling goop like the Matrix.
Tricks. Well, and again, that's what makes simulation theory interesting is when you can tie it into other theories. Like if the all is what created this simulation, source is what created the simulation to explore things that it isn't not necessarily isn't capable of exploring, but to give it opportunity to continue to learn, grow, whatever.
I would almost imagine that even love, I was about to just be, generally ignorant, if you will, and say I would imagine sex would be better in a cosmic form than it would be.
Well, but it's a carnal physical pleasure, so does it even matter at that point?
Right, but I'm saying though, like you have to have love.
Yeah.
Because you're of source. And if source, I mean, I can understand like
Expression of love, and that's how you continue to grow closer to consciousness. When you got that spark with somebody and you're making love versus fucking,
I mean, how else do you, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost
That gets you closer to source.
like, what was the,
You're experiencing the thing
it's like
together.
you're one, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like the cosmic version would be even better because you're actually one, like you're
Well,
intertwined.
that's why polyamorism is getting you even closer because you're that close with multiple people and multiple
I
consciousnesses.
mean, that you got a point there, huh? You got a point there. We're a lot closer to source if all of us can agree, as opposed to just you and me. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That might
Right.
have been you might have just dropped the mic on some modes right
Boom, and I'm
there.
out. Ethical non-monogamy for the win. Peace
You
out,
might have just
fools.
dropped the bomb. Because that makes sense, right?
Boom.
I mean, I guess you're
Game.
doing the Lord's work, you know what I'm
Blouses.
saying? Right. You're doing the Lord's work. You're getting multiple people on the same homogenous page.
Don't worry, Cliff. We'll bring you into the compound.
Nah,
Cliff will be like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay about 10 miles out this way.
you know what I'm saying?
I'll come visit. I'll come
That's where
visit."
the negative magnetism comes in, where it's like, oh, they come around, I'm gonna go over there. They come around here, I'm gonna go over here. It's like one of those eye things that you have.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Every time you look at it, it goes somewhere else, and
Squigglies.
you're like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm a little eye squiggly.
Oh man. All right, sir. What else you got? You got anything?
I want to know what's up with all these erectile dysfunction ads that they're pushing now.
Well, I think it's because they have been approved for generics.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was about to say everybody can't have bad dick. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I don't mean like bad dick as in can't use it. I mean it is in like, well, I guess that tracks as well. But as in they can't get erect. Like,
Yeah, no. I mean for all right, I'll tell it myself. I'll pop a blue chew once in a while.
I
But
mean, in
it's not to get hard, it's to stay harder longer.
yeah, no, I've heard that. I've heard that before. And what was it back in the day?
I mean
I've
Viagra and
tried
Cialis or
I've
whatever.
tried what no, it wasn't nothing like that. What is it, like a rhino pill or something
Oh
like that?
yeah.
Like before they had the honey packs and all that, I think it was a rhino or what was it? No, is it like an extends or something like
Something
that?
like that, but all it did was really increase your blood pressure.
Right, right. And I mean, I've tried it before, but I mean, it's like I don't really recognize changes really.
I
You know
hear
what
you.
I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can tell me, like, I guess, I don't know. I've never really had an issue with that in the first place to be like, what is the point of it? Like, it almost feels like you're marketing this to people who don't need it,
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
which lets me know just based off of previous tactics, the more you take that, the more you're going to need it.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing this on purpose to you. Like, yeah, have fun with your blue chew all you want to, but eventually.
Yeah, you don't want to use it all the time. Otherwise, yes, you're right. You need it all the time.
But yeah, I think you answered my question with like, okay, they're cleared now for everybody to be able to make them and shit. Like,
Yeah, that's
that
really what
makes sense.
it is.
Because I'm wondering, like, what the fuck is this? The microplastics? What's going on? Like, why is there a need for this all of a sudden?
Right.
Not saying there wasn't before, but the niggas who needed it knew where to find it.
Right.
Now it's just like, nah, it's here though. It's here. You didn't think you what? But what about here?
Right. I think it's because we're also all more stressed out, and that has sometimes deleterious effects as well.
That could be.
The world's falling apart, Cliff. Sometimes you can't get your head in the right spot.
Might as well go out with a
With a
fucking
bang.
hard dick, huh?
Go out with a bang, Cliff.
It just, I don't know. Listen, it's getting weirder and weirder as the days go on.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well,
The
I mean,
whole lot of it.
we're on the verge of World War III. We're civil unrest at home over deportations. What else you want to throw in there? The fact that the rich are continuing to make money off of us.
And nobody took none of them out yet. I just don't
Just
understand
Luigi.
it.
Luigi's the only one that did anything. No one else has done anything about it yet.
I just don't get it, man. Everything, yeah, I don't know. Everything's weird to me on this Friday the 13th, but nothing's weird outside like it used to be.
Right.
Everything's weird every other day.
Right. The demons are with us all the time now.
Right.
Fucking CERN, dude.
I'm trying to tell you, man. What the fuck are the Swiss doing?
The REIT's chiming in with, "You're just getting older. Welcome to this life."
Now, I don't even know if you can say that though, because like, don't get me wrong, I understand like how the natural progression of things and how like you're just not willing to tolerate as much as you
Right.
used to and all that, but it's objectively weird now. Like things have like this isn't like the most they explained to us back in the day is there'd be flying cars and shit
Right.
like that. And
Where's
it's like,
my hoverboard? That's
you know
actually
what
a
I'm saying?
hoverboard.
There's no flying cars. You fucked us on the flying cars, but everything else is like.
I mean, they
Like,
have them. That's what the drones in New Jersey actually are. Just flying cars.
I mean, you know,
Hovercraft conversions.
I'm waiting on the fucking Mercedes release. Like, what the
Right.
fuck? Like, can we get a commercial at least? Like, I know you rich fucking parasites would not have completely, usable flying cars and not be trying to get everybody's money for them.
Well, Lockheed Martin's just trying to get the most powerful nations in the world to buy their shit. So that's the Tic Tac and all that shit. Gravity generators or anti-gravity generators.
I can't wait for, and I know this is the Lord forgive me. I can't wait for the first group of people to get those Tic Tacs and fuck themselves up. Like how the Teslas were when the niggas,
commercially
this
available
bitch
ones.
drives by itself, and then you run right into a brick fucking wall, you dumbass waste of space.
Like the submersible crew.
That was rough, but I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you're gonna do dumb shit like that, you might be a waste of space.
Right.
You might be wasting space and money if you like, yeah, the car just came out 2 months ago, but it has a self-driving feature, so I'm gonna fall asleep on the way to work. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see all of the motherfuckers is gonna need steel umbrellas for their home. It's gonna be raining alternators. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit.
No doubt.
Gonna be flying from the sky when that takes place.
No doubt. Especially if it's not. Well, even if it is automated, but especially if it's not automated.
At this point, it's like, what's better, right?
Right.
Because we're getting to the point where AI is going to be in control of everything. So you thought these demon human beings weren't hacking into your computers and cutting the brakes and all that shit? What do you think the AI is going to be like?
Right.
Get this little motherfucker out of here and just flick you right out the sky with a fucking code that they put in down. Man. Yeah, everything's weird. And the fact that people are just walking into it, it's almost like a
It's like that old Lemmings game on the computer.
What's that?
Lemmings? Oh, Lemmings was a great game.
I don't remember that.
Where like you could direct them. Basically, your goal was to like get them from point A to point B, but you could put ones down that would like make them go back the other way. You could dig tunnels, and they'd go down the tunnels.
Oh yeah, no.
They always just walked in a straight line until you put something in their path that made them not.
It's like a fucking like one of those houses at the fair where it's like, like you just walking in and you don't know what to expect, but you already paid your money for it. So you're going to go through and it's like, this is like weird. Like it's just a whole bunch of weird shit in here, but we're just trucking along like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand.
Well, the hope is we get out the other side and it's not so weird one way or another.
Yeah, I don't remember the lemmings. I just looked it up. Maybe I do. Damn, that motherfucker, boy. Yeah, I don't know. Shit's weird.
Shit is weird. All right, dude.
Yeah, I don't got nothing else.
I'm out.
You know,
do your usual.
I'm fed up. Love everybody. Even the weird ones, man. I suppose you have to get back to source, right? But there's nothing wrong with negative magnetism either. You know what I'm saying? That's a natural.
Well, no, because the only way you can get closer is to get away from the negativity. The negativity actually holds you back.
Preach.
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 Oh, shit. All right. Well, do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell them to troll, and check us out at Foolproof Net on all socials. And with all that, peace out, fools.
With your weird asses.